Hi, class. Start the chapter. Okay. In this chapter, we'll talk about the strategic leadership in IT. Hopefully, we can also talk about other solutions like selecting the softwares, evaluations, and project management also from a strategic point of view. Here we'll talk about introduction to leadership. And the learning objectives of this subject is explaining the full meaning of leadership. We're also going to identify effective leaders' traits and characteristics. We will differentiate between a leader and a manager. Now, what is a leader? Leadership is an influence relationship among leaders and followers who intend real changes and outcome that reflects their shared purpose. So influence between leaders and followers, they can affect each other. Now, what a leader's involved in is influence, as we said, intention, personal responsibilities, change, shared purpose, and followers. Now, for the class discussion of these elements, of the elements in the leadership definition, which is the easiest for you? Which the hardest? Explain, please. Now, anyone can be a leader. To become a leader, you have to look for the opportunities around you. As another subject we can talk is, can you share with us leadership opportunity you have encountered recently and what you have done about it? As a leader, you can recognize opportunity for leadership and act to influence others and bring about changes for a better future. So is that entrepreneurship? Now, what's the difference as leaders changing with the time? It's changing from the leader's job was to stabilizers, to have more control or controller, competitors, diversity avoider, and is hero. Today, paradigms leaders are change manager, facilitator, collaborator instead of competitors, diversity promoter instead of diversity avoider, and instead of hero, he is a humble. So this is the new type of leaders in the market. Now, the new, when we talked about here from being a stabilizer to a change manager, we're talking about today's leaders, best leaders accept the change. It's must, it's inventable. They have learned to adapt quickly to a new situation. And the adaptabilities is required for success. Once today, it moved a leader from being a controller to facilitators, which as you see here, a controller to a facilitator. That means today, information is a company's most important assets. This makes employees more important than the equipment they use. To go with the change from objects to information as an asset, leader no longer controls. Instead, they facilitate, making a process such as the use of information easier. Also, a leader from being competitor became a collaborator. In the past, leader competed with other leaders and groups. Today, leaders work with other leaders and no against others or groups. Also, from diversity avoider because to a diversity promoter, Toronto is one of the most diverse city in the world. Diversity in a workplace is a natural result of diversity in our world. Working with people who act and think differently than us can be challenging. A good leader seeks diversity so the group has a wide range of talent that can help the group to meet its goals. Difference can be a really a strength. And also today's leaders are changing from being a hero to a humble. A leader who collaborates, works with the group, and share the credit. A leader accepts that things do not go right all the time. Vulnerabilities as a leadership skill. So it shows weakness, and that sometimes you will see president of USA have a cat or a dog. Treats. We think that a leader born with certain things, but we need to know what's a trait. It's a distinguishing personality characteristic of a leader, such as intelligence, honesty, self-confidence, and appearance. Now, these traits and characteristic, we can divide them on a social, personal characteristics, intelligence and abilities, personality. And then we have what you call the social characteristics, and we have the work-related characteristic and the social background. Under the personal characteristics, we have energy, lots of energy, passion, humility, and physical stamina. Intelligence and abilities, a leader might have a high intelligence, good cognitive abilities, good knowledge and judgment, and able to be a decisive. When it comes to personality, he can be a very cheerful person, optimism, self-confidence. He can be honesty and integrity. He has the charisma, desire to lead, and also independence. Now, at the social characteristics, he has some kind of a sociabilities, interpersonal skills, very cooperative, ability to enlist cooperation, has a good tactic ways, knows how to build a strategy, and diplomacy. When it comes to the work-related characteristics, can be able to drive things, desire to excel, has dependabilities, fair-mindedness, and perseverance and tenacity. When the social background, usually they have education, good education, and mobilities. Now, looking at the traits, there is usually they have some kind of individualities and uniqueness. Individualistic leaders are not afraid to get a personal with their followers. So they're friendly. There is also integrities, which is they have a high level of honesty most of the time, truthfulness, and non-deception, acting in accordance with a solid ethical principle. They also have a good vision, which means effective leaders tend to have a long-term future orientation. They look beyond the present day with its problems or success. Translate knowledge into vision. Also, they do have some kind of a faith. Having a faith in people is essential for appropriate evaluation of their talent and abilities. A leader who has faith in his followers will not accept negative about those followers without checking and double checking the source and the truth of the comment. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, the other traits of leaders is respect. The extent to which a leader is considered and considerate and also sensitive toward the subordinates, respect their ideas and feelings, and establish mutual trust between him and followers between different followers also. There's also leaders usually carry power, use the position power to accomplish some results. So let's discuss this matter. Share with us other leadership traits that you think and explain them, such as like a perseverance, humility, attitude, whatever it is you think there is more traits there. Now, leader is different than manager. And what's a management then? Management is the attainment of organizational goal in an effective and efficient manner through planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling organizational resources. In other words, we use that in the operation and supply chain management discipline course, effectiveness and efficient. Who is supposed to do it in that position? Managers usually have to be effective and efficient. Now, if we look at the leaders now and managers, we look at the direction. If we can see here, for example, in the management, they plan and they budget. In the leadership, they create visions and strategies. They are minimizing risk for sure results. The leaders are maximizing opportunities. They are focusing on a bottom line. They keep an eye on horizon, the leaders. We'll go through all these in the class. So differences in the field of direction, in the field of alignment, in field of relationship, in field of personal qualities, and also outcome. They are two different evaluation for their outcomes. So these are the difference between the leaders and manager, which is we will explain on the details on that. So looking at providing direction, which is this the first one here, is a providing direction. And we see management focus on managing schedules and resources. Meanwhile, leaders focus on a vision of the future. A vision means is a picture of ambitious, desirable future for the organization or team. We can see a sample of OG leader with the desire or the vision he has for the future. Now you have, if I can allocate it on the YouTube video, align followers. We have something called align followers. Managers tell others what to do. Leaders inspire others to take actions. Building relationship. People follow and report to manager based on the manager's job in the organization. People follows leader based on the leader influence. So you can have a different leader in the same job. You have a manager and a leader could be someone else. Now you have what you call developing personal leadership quality. And that leaders must know who they are, know what they stand for, and have the courage to act. Leadership skills can be learned, as we're going to see in the video of Tuckman model. Now, creating outcomes. Manager maintain stabilities, leader create change. The difference between management and leadership create two different outcomes. They are stabilities, they are certain outcome, they making changes. So they are two different outcomes. So the question, leadership is more concerned with the people than management. Do you agree with that? Now, a new leader action memo, as a leader, you can awaken your leadership quality of enthusiasm, integrity, courage, and moral commitment. You can make emotional connection with the followers to increase your leadership effectiveness. I think that's one of the movies I watched, Dustin Hoffman. In that movie, he is saving people, saving lives, but he is the most normal person in the everyday, but there's something clicks in him, becomes a leader, and then goes back to a complaining person. Anyway, learning to be leader. There is a way to learn how to be a leader? Yes, it is. You've seen here is done as a circle because it's ongoing development. So first, practice acts of leadership in your everyday life. Every day you just need to practice it. Then emulate successful leaders. See the leaders and emulate. Don't emulate Hitler. That's a bad sample. Very bad sample. Find a mentor to provide a feedback. So you find somebody will give you the feedback, and then you can complete a leadership course to improve the skills like this course, and then work to develop personal traits of the empathies and the patient. And this is ongoing activities to become an effective and learn to be a leader. Now, what's a leader? A leader is basically an art plus a science. The science of a good leadership can be learned from a textbook. The art of a good leadership requires constant experience and actions. That's the end of this chapter. Thank you.